Oh, hello there. I see you're admiring my comic collection. I should probably bend down so you can see my face. I see you admiring it. Yes, it's very nice. You know, we've got some pretty good stuff here. We've got some of the Archie Sonic comic run. We've got some DC in the back, some Ninja Turtles. Oh, what is this? Spider-Man! Hello, my germs and sperms, and welcome back to the 10 to 30 minutes where I ramble on about comic books. Today, we are going over what is, quite frankly, my favorite Spider-Man. Better than Peter Parker, better than Miles Morales, better than the Insomniac games, better than Spectacular Spider-Man. That is none other than Spider-Man 209999999999. Why am I dancing in 99? I do not know. Fuck. I need to kill myself. Anyways, Spider-Man 2099. What makes this particular comic so great over every other Spider-Man book? Why is a single 46-issue run from 1992 to 1996 so amazing? Well, let me explain that to you. It just is. Quite frankly, it just is that amazing to me. It's such a good story, and that is the biggest reason why I do not like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Simply because it ruins Miguel O'Hara. Now, granted, it's a multiversal movie, and so there's infinite versions of infinite amount of characters of infinite adaptations. But the thing that makes the 2099 book so good to me is just how, quite frankly, different yet not different Miguel is from a Peter Parker or a Miles Morales or a Ben Reilly. Quite frankly, the guy's entire existence as Spider-Man is a freak accident that could have been 100% avoided had he just not been such a jackass. Not even that he pissed somebody off and caused the accident, but more so that it was his own hubris and his own arrogance that caused him to become Spider-Man. And with him being Spider-Man, he doesn't want to be Spider-Man. But after he finds out the truth, he kind of just keeps going, despite hating everything about being Spider-Man. And he doesn't want... It's a very fascinating read. So, at the start of the story, Miguel's origin is fairly simple. He's a guy who works for a company, Alchemax, and Alchemax isn't the greatest of people. And he also isn't the greatest of people either. He's kind of an asshole to everybody he knows. He has a fiancée who he's engaged to, and he has a brother, and he hates his mother. That's pretty much Miguel O'Hara before he becomes Spider-Man. Now, what's a spider bite, you may be asking? Oh, you know, it's just that while working on recreating heroes from the golden age of comics, because in 2099, this takes place on an alternate Earth, way after heroes like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America have long since been dead. Like, again, it takes place in the year 2099. I kind of figured that was a little obvious, but I'm explaining for the people in the back who are a little, you know, inept. Or have trouble reading, or even understand basic concepts, or can't even look up a fucking 30-minute YouTube video. Anyways, enough of insulting my audience's intelligence. Miguel was working on trying to recreate Spider-Man's powers to make super soldiers. Yes, I know. Even in the year 2099, they have to continue to fucking recreate Captain America. Why? Because they like guys with weird chests that make no anatomical sense. But while trying to recreate it, he kind of fails at it, and eventually he gets to the point of his boss, Tyler Stone, pushing for the project to be done and skipping safety tests and animal testing and wants to jump right into human testing. And so, regrettably, Miguel does go straight to human testing. However, as to be expected, it kind of backfires on him. And the human test subject is a fucking monster. And, yeah, he quits. He walks into his boss's office and says, fuck you, fuck this, and fuck tennis. I mean, and fuck you, and fuck this job. I am out of here. And then Tyler Stone, fuck. And then Tyler Stone very smugly stands up and says, Miguel, please. Want Sprite cranberry. And then he proceeds to drink the Sprite cranberry, and, it's then revealed that it is laced with some drug that Alchemex makes called Rapture. It's super addictive, and it's so addictive that after one dose, you pretty much either take it or you die. And there is no black market value for this. Like, it's nearly impossible to get off the black market. So he's pretty much screwed. He has to keep working at Alchemax to get his fix or he will die. However, things don't really work out as Miguel intends. He goes back to his lab and decides he's going to use the genetic machine and a backup of his genetics before he took the drug to completely wipe it out of its system, because Rapture bonds to your DNA, which makes it so addictive. Your body is literally forced to use it to live, or you will die. So, while Miguel is in the process of cleansing himself, one of his colleagues, who's super pissed off at the way he's been treating, because again, like I said earlier, Miguel's kind of an ass, he ends up taking the spider DNA, shoving it into the machine, and then flipping a bunch of switches, causing a massive explosion, which completely mutates Miguel into Spider-Man. Not Spider-Man from, the past, but instead, as opposed to having web shooters, he has organic webbings that come out of the top of his wrist for whatever reason, even though, that would kind of make it a little difficult to shoot and grab, because you kind of have to... I suppose it's not that hard, but still, it seems kind of, at least with the black suit, it came out of, like here, as opposed to here. Listen, what I'm getting at is, he's Spider-Man, but his powers are a little bit different. There's no spider sense, but he has super heightened senses. There's no sticky fingers, but he has talons that allow him to just, like, dig into walls and just hold on to it. That, seems a little inefficient, but he can use them during combat to horribly fuck up people. And he does. Quite frequently, might I add. Then there's just stuff like super strength, durability, heightened speed, because, you can't be strong without being a fast boy. And then finally, he has venomous fangs that quite literally allow him to bite people and temporarily paralyze them, like an actual fucking spider. He's so fucking cool. Also, another reason why he is the best Spider-Man, in my opinion, just look at this suit. I'm gonna put this right up against the camera. Look at this suit. Look how beautiful it is. The bluish black, and yes, that is a debate you can fight me on. The story may say black. Spider-Man's suit description may say black. That suit is fucking blue. But no, that's not blue highlights. No, that is clearly fucking blue. It is red and blue, and I will die on this fucking hill. Hell, even the creator himself said it's blackish blue, so it could be either one. Besides, if we're really gonna nitpick about this being black, just fucking look at old Spider-Man comics. Half the damn time it's red and black as opposed to red and blue. So yes, I'm dying on this hill. This is red and blue, not red and black. If you say it's black, you have a lovely day, because you are entitled to your opinions, and you are not a beautiful person. You can have your own opinions. But yes, it's a little simple. It's just a base suit with a little red spider skull, a little red spider mask, and it goes up across the arms, and that's it. But it's such a good suit. It's a perfect example of less is more, and the little bit more that it has on here compared to a typical Spider-Man costume is way fucking more. And that's the majority of why I love this series. The villains, they're more so one and done. They kind of show up just to be something for Miguel to fight. They're not really interesting. They're more or less villains of the week from like a 90s Spider-Man show. The side characters, they're fairly interesting. They're more so just there filling out the story and building the world up as Miguel struggles with being Spider-Man. It pretty much starts off as him just kind of trying to find a way to fix himself and get rid of the powers. However, as things go on, more and more villains pop up, and he's kind of forced into fighting them. He's not really putting on the suit because it's his choice, more so because he has to. He's forced to. And so he starts fighting people, and eventually he starts killing. By issue 7, actually, is it issue 7? Yes, it is issue 7. And part 2 of the story where he fights the Vulture. This is only his second villain, maybe his third. Wait, is it a second? The point is, this is only 7 issues into his career, and he kills someone. He willingly fights the Vulture, and then after defeating him, he's like, it would be so easy to save your life right now, but no, I'm just going to let you fall. I'm going to let you fall and die because I want nothing to do with this. I don't want to fight villains. I don't want to be a crime fighter. I don't want this. And yeah, he just straight up lets Vulture fall to his death. And then he kind of just goes on about his life from there, like, Miguel O'Hara, And yeah, that's pretty much where the series just goes from there, you know. He's more so trying to find ways to cure himself, while also occasionally villains show up, he fights the villain, and then he kind of just brews in a dark room about how terrible his life is. He starts to fix some of the relationships in his life. For example, he kind of gets a better relationship with his brother as time goes on, and it's later revealed in issue 20-something that his brother, Gabe, realizes that Miguel is Spider-Man because of his Day of the Dead costume. Oh yeah, his costume, it's not like a costume he makes, it's literally a Day of the Dead costume that he got in Mexico. And the only reason he wears this over, like, a regular cloth suit is because it's made of unstable molecules or atoms or the stuff that the Fantastic Four wears. That's what that is made out of. And that's, like, the only reason that he even wears the suit in the first place. That is cool. But it also makes it incredibly easy for people who know Miguel and knows about that costume to easily put together, oh, he's Spider-Man. But, yeah, I mean, it's a really cool series. And admittedly, after, like, 30 issues, I was starting to get burnt out on it. But then I read one comic in this run that completely flips the script. It is revealed that Tyler Stone, the guy who drugged Miguel and forced him, you know, maybe not intentionally, but forced him into the life of Spider-Man, a life that at this point in the story he does not want. At this point, he's only going out in the suit because he's had it with these big corporations. He's seen what it's done to people. He's seen what it's done to him. He's seen how it affects the lower class with no money to fight back. He's seen all of this firsthand, and he's tired of them going after him, even though he's just defending himself from the villains that they send and the villains that come up from the gutter to attack him, thinking he's a corporate shell. He's had enough of this, and so he's actively fighting against the big corporations to put a stop to them, stopping their super soldiers, stopping their police forces, essentially just making it to where the little guy has a chance to stand up. And eventually he follows Tyler Stone home, where he finds out that his mother had an affair with Tyler Stone, which means Tyler is none other than Miguel O'Hara's fucking father. And he did not drug Miguel with Rapture. He told him he did. Which means the entire time that Miguel has been Spider-Man, it was his doing. It was because he went into the genetic machine. Granted, it was sabotage that caused the accident that made him Spider-Man, but granted, he would not have become Spider-Man if he was not so arrogant that he rushed back to his lab to cleanse himself. And that is why Miguel is Spider-Man. And that is just one of the many reasons why I love this adaptation of Spider-Man. It's not even an adaptation. This is why I love this Spider-Man over all other Spider-Men and women and children and fucking dinosaurs and buggies and other fucking video game characters. Just best Spider-Man in my opinion. And where it goes from there, I have no fucking clue, because I am currently on issue 29. I've only read up to issue 29, and there are 46 issues. I am halfway done with this series, and it's a super interesting read. I know I just kind of gave away some of the biggest reveals and shock values in the whole series, but trust me, it is still well worth your read. If not because I made the story sound interesting, or you weren't a fan of the character in Spider-Verse, just read it because it's a super fascinating read. Hell, don't even read it like it's a Spider-Man story. Just read it like it's a personal struggle story, which it very much is. And yeah, that's why I, came on here and rambled for 16 minutes. But yeah, with that, I guess I could give you some particular stories to read. And yeah, I picked out a few here. I got a few here that I think you should read. And the first story that I think you should read of Spider-Man 2099 is all of them. Read them all, chronologically. Start with issue number 1. Now, issue number 1, oddly enough, from my experiences, is going to be the most expensive issue you find because, and quite frankly, it's a number 1. Now, you might find an issue here or there that's a bit more up there than the others, but that's mostly because those are first appearances of characters and villains who go on to either A, play part in major stories, or B, are just, first appearances. Like Venom 2099. I'm getting to that story. I'm about to read Venom 2099 here soon. Because that's like issue 30 and 31, and I am on issue 29. So, yeah. There we go. That's everything I want to recommend for 2099. Visit your local comic shops or go online. There's lots of good, online comic shops you can go to. For one, there's Amazon, who may not have every issue and may not have them for the best prices, but you can usually find what you want on Amazon, as well as, comic book buying apps. For those, you can pretty much just go on Google and look up some of the best rated comic book apps. The one that I recommend the most, because that's the one that I use the most, is Mercari. It's really good. You can buy books, you can sell books, do whatever you want. But yeah, that's going to do it, and I will see all of you in the next video, where I talk about how you can use a chain, a cinder block, and an F-250 to extend your penis.